Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I built these 10 LEGO mechanisms and how you can use them in your builds. Let's get started. Alright guys, so the first mechanism I'm going to show you is the belt drive. So here I have a larger wheel or pulley that is connected to a smaller wheel, and this makes a gear ratio that's about 20:1. So every time this wheel spins one time, the smaller wheel spins 20 times. And this one is pretty simple. It can help you if you have a very large belt that you can span it across. It's basically like a chain, but just much simpler. And if I spun this smaller one, it actually is pretty strong, even though there's like some friction. Like if the friction wasn't as good, it would not be a very good belt drive. But this one works pretty well. And yeah, that's how belt drive works. Next up, I'm going to show you this ratchet. So ratchet, pretty simple. It is a gear, and then there's a piece that's connected to an axle that has a weight on the end. So since gravity's pulling it down, it spins on this gear and it falls and falls and falls and falls like that. But if I push it the other way, I can't push it the other way. That's the point of the ratchet. So when the ratchet, you're winding up something and it's like really hard to wind up, and then you stop, the energy can't be released instantly. But then if you let go and flip it over, all the energy just goes. And then that's what ratchets are used for. So like on a crane or something that winds up, this would be great for that. The next mechanism I'm going to show you is the intermittent mechanism. So this one has a stick on the end of the spinning axle that binds with this gear here, and it just falls in there really nicely, and it spins it and then stops spinning it. So it only spins it one rotation exactly. So if you spin this faster, just be one rotation, like however you want it to be. This is just to be a gear ratio or anything where you just want it to move slowly. And that's how intermittent mechanism works. Next, I'm going to show you this mechanism. So this mechanism here works like this, and it spins right here, and you can see it spinning down here also. And it takes just some triangle pieces, 3-axis pieces that are just like a hole and axle in the middle, and then it sticks out with 3 of them. And this one is it looks complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. What's going on here is it's just turning these pieces, but they're all meshed together because they're all the same length of the piece. So it just makes sense that these would just turn like this. And yeah, so you can make this as long as you want. I'd say this is pretty good for things where you're moving things up and down. And yeah, up and down, but you want to keep something rotating with it. So I could move this anywhere and it would just keep rotating. Oh yeah, that's how this mechanism works. This next mechanism is differential. So I have this little spinner piece up here, and when I spin this, it spins these wheels on the outside. All cars have this mechanism, so for more efficiency. So if I drive this with this piece here, see it's spinning the wheels, but then if I go for a turn, the inner wheel on the turn is traveling less distance than the outer wheel. So this mechanism allows that to happen without wasting energy. Because if this mechanism wasn't here and it was just a regular differential, then these wheels will both spin, and they would have to spin at the same speed, so it would take one, longer to travel there, and also less efficient. So that's how this mechanism works. And see, if I hold this side, this wheel actually spins faster than if I just spun it with both wheels spinning. So that's how a differential works. Alright, next up, I have sun and planet gear. So sun and planet gear is a pretty cool mechanism. So with these gears mesh up together, and as you can see, if you watch this gear, it doesn't really change that much the way it's facing, which is what this mechanism needs, because it's basically a piston, which I'll get to in a moment. But you see this, it's going up and down, and this gear is spinning this gear around, but also up and down to push up here. Just like that. This would just work just as easy as a regular piston mechanism would work. So you can just use this as in all of those other situations as a regular piston would work. Okay. Next mechanism is the piston. So this one works by, you got you turn over here, and you have to have a smaller beam to a bigger beam, because if they're the same size, I'm pretty sure it doesn't work. But if this one's smaller and this one's bigger, then it's always gonna work. And it just goes back and forth like this. Pretty simple. And that motion here with this linkage, it stays, this guy can stay in the middle, and it can just push this piece up and down. And it's quite strong too. Next up is a camshaft. So camshaft is used in cars with their pistons and like how their engines work. So imagine this is a inside of a shaft that's circular, and this would build up compression in the car to like make it spin. So what I'm doing right now is spinning this, but in a real car, this actually wouldn't be doing the spinning. This would push the camshaft. So this would be like this. All of the other ones move it to here, and then this one pushes to here, and it moves a little bit from the other one, and then it gets to here, and then this one pushes, and it just keeps on moving around and around. And this is just a model of how that would work. So that's how cam works. Next up, we have a scissor lift. So scissor lift is pretty simple. It's a bunch of linkages and they're all the same. So I just push this here and it pops out like that, because when I'm squeezing this, it becomes extended like this. And it just opens up like that. And whether it's like proportional, so the way this, so see how it's this wide right now, and when I push this, it gets to a certain length this way, but it becomes smaller the other direction, thinner this way. And you just have to make all of the beams the same size, and your scissor lift will work every time. That's how a scissor lift works. Next up, last but definitely not least, is the CV joint. So CV means constant velocity. So I could move this any direction, any angle I want, but the velocity will always stay the same. Hence, constant velocity is the name of this. So I can spin this, and these 90-degree like things here, they spin around, and it acts like a differential, but almost not, because the differential, it makes it spin opposite, but this one spins the same. So that's how that works. And when you turn this, it pushes this out, and they both push them out, but then they pull back in, and they like just connect with each other. That's how a CV joint works. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.